Hello all. The objective of this video is to identify the common ethical issues associated with advertising regarding products, pricing, promotion, and placement within the marketing mix. Advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or services by an identified sponsor. In today's fast-paced high-tech age, businesses use advertising to make products aware of their products and services and to earn profits through increasing their sales and sales turnover. It is not possible to escape ourselves from advertisements in today's world. Did you all know that consumers are bombarded with more than 1500 commercials messages a day? The question in advertising is not whether to communicate, but rather what to say, how to say it, to whom, and how often. To reach target markets and build brand equity in this cluttered market, advertisers sometimes overstep social and legal norms. Thus, today we will attempt to explore the ethical concerns in advertising. Ethical norms deal with character, norms, morals, and ideals. They give an idea of what is fair or unfair, or what is right and wrong. The ethical principles underlie social policies and are dictated by the society we live in. Like any other profession, the advertising field is governed by the laws and enactment governing the mass media. Thus, we will discuss the nature of the problems faced by the consumers through misleading advertisements and what can be the possible solutions for the same. But first we'll talk about that when is advertising said to be deceptive. The Constitution of India guarantees freedom of speech, but special restraint is needed in commercial speech, including advertising. An advertisement is called deceptive when it misleads people, alters the reality, and affects the buying behavior of the consumer. Deception exists when an advertisement is introduced into the perceptual process of the audience in such a way that the output of that perceptual process differs from the reality of the situation. It includes a misrepresentation, omission, or a practice that is likely to mislead. Deceptive advertising violates consumers' right to information. The use of untrue paid testimonials to convince buyers, quoting misleading prices, disparaging a rival product in a misleading manner are some of the common examples of misleading. Advertisers of anti-aging creams, complexion improving creams, weight loss programs, anti-dandruff shampoos, and manufacturers of vitamins or dietary supplements are usually guilty of making exaggerated product claims. There are many examples for the same. For example, a fairness cream. A fairness cream is advertised with the claim that the user will get a fair complexion within a week or a month. But is it applying to all the consumers? Sad truth, no. For example, Parle-G Original Gluco Biscuits. It puts a claim of being the world's largest selling biscuits on its package. But on what basis? The basis for such claim is based on the result of a survey which was done in year 2003. Advertisements by some financial companies are also no less. Financial companies make advertising of doubling the money within a given time, but without any base to justify the claims. Such advertisements are said to be deceptive in nature. Advertising also violates consumers' right to safety. When an advertisement for cooking oil says that using the said oil frees the user from heart problems, then such an advertisement is misrepresenting the facts. Companies advertise products highlighting health cures and drugs of questionable efficacy and health gadgets of unknown values. There are thousands of examples people suffering due to which thousands of consumers spend lakhs of monies because of misleading facts. Many of the juice, sharbat, wafer manufacturing companies do not mention the ingredients used in it. Very common example of Haldiram. Haldiram offers many types of sharbats which are artificially flavored, but the front side of the package has big and attractive picture of the fruit itself, creating misunderstanding amongst the consumers. Advertising also violates consumers' right to choice. When material facts which are likely to influence the buying decisions are not disclosed in the advertisement, it becomes deceptive. In several advertisements, it is stated that conditions apply, but unfortunately, these conditions are never stated. They do not disclose the material facts. For example, a print ad by Videocon mentions A 1-ton split AC available for rupees 15,990 only. Seems to be a very attractive offer, right? But there is a very small asterisk which is attached, which mention three things in very small font, which are conditions apply, the prices are valid only in Delhi and NCR, under exchange only, and the actual product may differ from those displayed in the offer. Who will state these? I think no one. No one ever even bothers to read them. Such ads not only mislead consumers but conceal the important information. Advertisements for general medicines available all over the counters and general stores never talk of the side effects that may result from their frequent use, and consumers are never aware. The another issue regarding advertisement is directed towards children. Children in India constitute 18.7% of the world kids population and one-third of our country's population, which is under the age of 15 years. Thus, in India, children form a massive 30% of the total population, and this segment is growing at a rate of 4 to 5% per annum. This means a huge target market of 300 million is available to advertisers, and they are already focusing on the kid channels. A survey by Nielsen, UTV's research partner, showed that an average child watches TV for about 3 to 4 hours on weekdays and 3.7 hours on weekends. The time spent on television goes up with age, and the preferred language of viewing is Hindi across all the age groups. Apart from the programs, children also view a lot of the advertisements. In India, the advertising expenditure per year on products meant for children but purchased by parents like health drink is 12 to 15% of the total, that is rupees 38,000 million. Ad expenditure per year on products meant for children and also bought by them, such as chocolates, is 7 to 8%. The advertisers rely on the children's pestle power on their parents. The ethical issues involved are advertisers try to exploit young children by advertising products that are not conducive to their health. Children are naive and gullible and are vulnerable to advertisers' enticements. They lack independent judgment and experience as well. The line between the children's shows and commercials is fading, and the strategy of selling to parents by convincing the children, is it a fair one? Most parents would think it is unfair. Another problem of puffery. Puffery means the use of harmless superlatives. It is a legal term that refers to promotional statements and claims that express subjective rather than objective views, which no reasonable person would take literally. An example would be Red Bull gives you wings. The advertisers use them to boast of the merits of their products, best, finest, number one, etc. Even law permits trade puffing or exaggeration, but subjective statements of opinion about a product's quality are so untrue that it becomes an outright spoof, and which is not true. The problem of bait advertisement is also very much prevailing in advertising industry. The problem of bait advertising, which means taking advantage of consumer psychology and depriving consumers of a choice. For example, when you are lured into a retail outlet by an advertisement for a low cost item which is ultimately sold to you at a higher price, or it is defective. Once you enter the store, you will be pressurized to purchase another more expensive item, and on visiting such stores you will find out that the handful of outdated products are on discount and the better products are termed as fresh stock. Advertising is not restricted to products that are good for people. According to law in India, advertisements for cigarettes, liquor, pan masala, products that are harmful to the public continue to find a place despite the ban imposed by the government in private channels, cables, and through the use of surrogates. Example includes McDowell's soda, Will's lifestyle stores, which are seen as surrogate advertising for McDowell's whiskey and Will's cigarettes respectively. The issues involved in such cases are whether such products should be advertised or not. If they should be advertised, and they will need to be advertised so long as their production is not banned, in what media should they be advertised? Further, if they are permitted to be advertised, whether the warning signs on the packages of these products really serve any purpose? The role of in-film advertising and surrogate advertising is promoting the sale of these products also needs to be examined more closely. Advertisers pay film producers to place their products in certain film scenes by integrating the products in the film scripts and screenplays. There are various legal aspects of advertising. Unfortunately, despite several laws meant to protect consumers against such unfair practices, false and misleading advertisements continue to exploit the consumer. A number of institutions are involved in regulating advertising, but all in vain. Some of the laws governing and concerning advertisings are the Drugs and Magic Remedies Objectionable Advertisements Act 1954, the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act 1969, the Consumer Protection Act 1986, Cable Television Networks Regulation Act 1995, Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940, the Children's Act 1960, and various self-regulations prevailing in advertising industry. But still, there is an urgent need of consumers' action. So here are some possible solutions that can help in solving these ethical issues. As empowered consumers, we should not be gullible to risky advertisements. Children are easily swayed by the false claim of the advertisers and fall in the trap of the greedy advertisers. Therefore, one should not blindly follow the advertisements and should use logic and reasoning before purchasing anything. Second, as MRTP Act had given the powers to consumers of taking suo motu actions which cannot be provided by the Consumer Protection Act or ASSI, the actions that can be taken only if a consumer or industry complains to the consumer courts or to ASCI. By the time the action is taken by these bodies to either withdraw or modify the offending advertisement, the advertisement has already conveyed the false message. Therefore, it is an urgent need and it is the time to make some amendment in the Act and to give powers to the consumer courts for suo motu actions so that they can take up cases of false advertisements on their own. Several consumers and consumer organizations such as Consumer Voice are fighting against the misleading advertisements. Magazines such as Consumer Voice incite published advertisements running a column on misleading advertisements. They also request consumers to share their opinions regarding various advertisements so that any advertisement which is deceptive and false can be brought to the notice of the regulators. Fourth, further, many colleges and schools have started consumer clubs where discussions are being carried on unethical advertisements. Kamala Nehru College is the first college in Delhi University for taking this initiative. If consumers feel that an advertisement is not true, they can write to Advertising Standard Council of India also. Regarding misleading advertisements related to banks, consumers can complain to the Reserve Bank of India. Grievances regarding false advertisements by telecom companies can be made to Telecom Regulatory Authority of India and insurance related matters to IRDA. The brighter side of all this is that a consumer's awareness will grow. And as the consumer's awareness will grow, marketeers and advertisers will learn that fast that in these days when the consumer is king, nothing but the best would do. As an agency quotes, advertising is a non-moral face like electricity, which not only illuminates but electrocutes. Its worth to civilization depends upon how it is used. And as advertising affects society and gets affected by it is therefore necessary to use this weapon with caution to avoid a corrosive effect on social values.